Did you know you can manage your property taxes from the comfort of your very own couch without ever waiting in a single line? Well, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to take the headache out of tax season and discover the absolute easiest, fastest way to pay your property tax online in Chatham County. So whether you're a brand new homeowner or you're just looking for a much more efficient way to handle those annual bills, you're in exactly the right place. Here is a quick look at our agenda for today. We'll start by understanding property taxes, move right into preparing for that online payment, walk through a step-by-step guide, troubleshoot some common FAQs, and then we'll wrap the whole thing up with a few additional tips and advice. All right, let's jump in. Section 1, Understanding Property Taxes. Now, before we hit pay, it's pretty vital to know what we're actually funding, right? Property taxes act as the absolute lifeblood for our local community services. We're talking about the things we rely on every single day, from public schools and fire protection to police services and filling potholes on local roads. But who actually handles your money? A lot of people get totally confused by the different county offices. So here's the secret. The Board of Assessors is the office that determines your property's value, but the tax commissioner's office, the folks with that official seal, they are the ones who actually handle the billing and collect your money.
So, how do they actually come up with the amount you owe? Let's break the math down in plain English. In Chatham County, Georgia, your property taxes are calculated based on what's called the assessed value. By state law, that is exactly 40% of your home's fair market value. So to put that into perspective, if the assessors determine your home has a fair market value of $300,000, your 40% assessed value used for taxes is $120,000. Your local millage rate is then just multiplied against that smaller number to get your final bill. Makes sense, right?
Moving right along to Section 2, Preparing for the Online Payment. Okay, listen up, because there is a massive trap for beginners right out of the gate here. Behold a classic tale of two counties. Before you type a single thing into your web browser, you absolutely must know which Chatham County you live in. Obviously, there is a Chatham County in Georgia, but there's also a Chatham County in North Carolina. And guess what? They each have completely different, totally independent online tax portals, entirely different fee structures, and unique statutory due dates. Knowing which state you are in literally dictates the rest of this entire process. So, before you even open that browser, make sure you've got the right info handy. To ensure a smooth, uninterrupted online payment process, go ahead and grab your previous year's billing statement. You're going to need your parcel identification number, which is sometimes called a PIN or a map number. Now, you can also search by the exact physical address or the property owner's name. But keep this in mind, for the name search, the county typically uses the primary owner registered in the land records as of January 1st of that tax year. Just a little quirk to remember. Section 3, Step-by-Step Guide to Payment. All right, we've reached a fork in the road, so you'll want to listen closely for the specific instructions for your state. If you are paying in Chatham County, Georgia, here are your steps. First, you'll visit the custom secure county portal at tax.chathamcountyga.gov. Once you're there, just use their search tool to locate your parcel using the PIN or address we just gathered. Finally, you select to pay via an e-check or credit card. It's super straightforward, and it's a highly secure system managed directly by the tax commissioner's office. Now, if you're up in Chatham County, North Carolina, your path looks a bit different. You're going to start at chathamcountync.gov and navigate over to their property tax inquiry application. That's powered by a system called Wedge. Now, here is a pro tip for that North Carolina Wedge system. If you are searching by your parcel number, you absolutely must include the leading zeros. If you don't, it won't work. Once you find your bill, the system actually redirects you to a third-party processor called Municipay to securely finalize your transaction. Let's talk fees, because these two counties handle your money totally differently. Chatham County, Georgia actually subsidizes electronic checks. That means if you pay by e-check, it is 100% free. No fees at all. Credit cards in Georgia, on the other hand, will run you a percentage fee somewhere between 2.2 and 3%. Meanwhile, North Carolina uses a vendor pass-through model via Municipay. What that means for you is that even an e-check carries a flat $1.25 convenience fee, and credit cards carry a flat 2.5% fee. Moving on to Section 4, Troubleshooting and FAQs. You know, even the most prepared taxpayer can hit a snag. The absolute most common question we see is, wait, doesn't my mortgage company already pay this bill? And the answer for about 1/3 of all Chatham County taxpayers is yes, they do. Many homeowners have their property taxes paid directly through a mortgage escrow account. The county will still mail you a copy of the bill twice a year just for your own records, but if your mortgage company is handling it, you definitely do not need to make a duplicate payment online. If you aren't sure, always check with your lender first. Here are a couple of other quick fixes for common issues. If your search returns literally 0 results, double-check your spelling. Also remember that brand new property subdivisions might not actually appear until the next tax cycle. For my Georgia residents, you'll want to mark your calendars. The Georgia Online Payment and Search Engine goes offline for annual maintenance, usually in mid-August, to process the tax digest. So whatever you do, avoid trying to pay or search during that blackout window. And lastly, if you're experiencing payment errors during checkout, make sure you've disabled any pop-up blockers on your web browser. They're notoriously bad at interfering with secure payment gateways.
Section 5. Additional tips and advice.
Let's talk deadlines because missing these is an incredibly expensive mistake. The best proactive tip I can give you is to set calendar reminders on your phone right now because, again, they are entirely different based on your state. In Georgia, taxes are billed semi-annually and are due on June 1st and November 15th. If you're late, you are looking at a 5% flat penalty every 120 days, plus monthly interest. Ouch. In North Carolina, you receive a single consolidated annual bill that is due on January 5th, with a flat 2% interest applied immediately if you miss it. Before we wrap up, I have to remind you about exemptions. Applying for a homestead exemption on your primary residence is hands down the single most effective way to drastically reduce your taxable value. We're talking about saving hundreds of dollars every single year. So if you own the home and you actually use it as your primary residence, please make sure you reach out to the Board of Assessors to file your application. Don't leave that money on the table. Paying online is fast, it's secure, and it's honestly incredibly convenient once you know exactly what to look for and which portal you're supposed to use. Please note that the information provided in this explainer is for educational purposes only. For the most accurate and up-to-date information, be sure to contact the Chatham County Tax Office directly or consult legal or financial professionals. Now that you've mastered the digital side of your civic duty, it really begs the question, if local governments can streamline collecting our money this efficiently, what other outdated public services are finally due for a digital revolution? Think about that next time you use a county service. Thanks so much for joining me on The Explainer.